U.S. forces have carried out strikes on Iran for a sixth consecutive night. U.S. Central Command says the U.S. strikes involving fighter jets, drones, and warships hit dozens of military targets. Iranian media is reporting the latest round of U.S. attacks hit infrastructure, including bridges, a train station, and an airport. Iran has stepped up retaliatory strikes in response. CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata is live with the latest. So, Charlie, let's break down this latest exchange of attacks and how it's potentially impacting a peace deal. Are we ever going to get one?
Vlad, to coin the term, it's complicated. You've seen those images of the strikes overnight. And again, Iran has said that CENTCOM, the military command in charge of that region, has expanded the strikes to include infrastructures, as you said, bridges, energy facilities have been hit. And we've been on the phone with CENTCOM, and they said, sixth night in a row, they are expanding what they call the strike package of what they're attacking, not only just the Strait of Hormuz to try to break that stranglehold, but also further inland into Iran itself, away from the ports. But to say it's complicated, at the same time, the White House was messaging just yesterday that President Trump remains open to talk. So on one side, the United States is trying to hammer as many of these points as they can to try to break that siege through force. On the other hand, there's the diplomacy involved. At the same time, we also have to raise the point that Iran is striking as hard as it can in as many places as they can. The vast majority of these missiles that are headed toward U.S. facilities, really going after Kuwait, Bahrain, and Jordan. Jordan has really come under attack in the past few days and few weeks since this MOU went into effect. And when we talk about this memorandum of understanding, the whole idea was, A, that the Iranians would break the siege of the Strait of Hormuz and allow ships to pass, and the United States would back down on the blockade. Both of those things have been turned over. The siege is still in place, and just a couple of days ago, the United States announced that the blockade would be reimposed. So on the military side, there's a great escalation. 6 nights in a row, this is no small thing. Diplomatically, the United States says they're willing to talk.
So with this escalation, do we expect potentially more deployments of American soldiers?
Yeah, Adriana, it's a good question. First of all, the U.S. military is what they call forward postured. There's a massive U.S. military presence there and has been since the war began back in February. So you've got an aircraft carrier, there are 10 or 11 guided missile destroyers and cruisers. And even during the downtime, they would have been rearming those ships. And they've even put video out as a show of force. Places like Al Udeid is going to be fully toothed up with a number of fighter jets, F-18s, F-35s, and these things are taking off all the time. Even if they're not dropping bombs and launching airstrikes, they're there in terms of force protection, so they're surveilling the entire area. So 50,000 troops is about 10,000 more than the entire region normally would have. And there are definitely assets that could be sent there. But at the moment, they're pretty much as forward postured as they have been at any time during the hostilities that began.
So, as you know, Charlie, Pakistan has been acting as a key mediator between the U.S. and Iran. Help break down that role, and what are they doing to bring the two countries back to the table?
Well, Pakistan has been very vocal about trying to make sure that at least back channels remain open. And it's also worth mentioning that, and this is a fairly new development, that Iran and Oman are trying to find some sort of agreement, because Oman shares one side of the Strait of Hormuz, Iran shares the other. So even though the United States and Iran might be at loggerheads now, trying to force each other in a way back to the negotiating table, Pakistan is doing all they can. They have been the mediators in the past, and they are trying as many diplomatic channels as they possibly can to try to get both sides talking. So again, while you have this sheer escalation in military activity, and again, we're not over-exaggerating what's going on here. I'm trying to figure out what kind of strike package we might see over the weekend, and a further escalation. Diplomatic efforts continue.
All right, Charlie D'Agata.
Thanks, Charlie. Appreciate it.
Thank you.